I just got out of the movies from seeing Wicked. So I wanted to title this video. I wanted to title the video of this live stream, why are all the bad guys, the villains, that are actually good guys, black? Why are all of the bad guys, the villains, who are actually good guys, black? So, like I said, I just got out of seeing Wicked, and I guess my first thoughts and my impressions are, one, it was really, really good. I'm actually not that big of a fan of musicals, but that was, hold on. I'm trying not to get a copyright claim out here walking in the streets and people playing music. I ain't trying to get my stuff shut down, you feel me? But anyways, Wicked was really good. It was really, really good. I never saw the Broadway play. I really do want to now. I really want to see it now. Because if it's... I just can't imagine that being on stage. Like, that would be incredible. But everybody, all the cast did wonderful. It was amazing. I like the way that they did the story. In my mind, I was comparing it to the other version with the Great Powerful Oz, and the way that the Wicked Witch of the West became green and all those things. But I like the way they did it this time. Okay, I guess I should say this. Spoilers. I'm in the streets. What's going on, Love Up, Single Mom? I'm in the streets. Technically, sort of. I'm just outside where this movie theater is. But yes, just saw Wicked. It was really good. I should say this. So spoiler alerts. Spoiler alerts for two movies. For Wicked and for Gladiator. Wicked and Gladiator 2. Because again, what I would title this and what I might title this video is, why are all the villains who are actually good guys black? Because this is crazy to me. This is crazy to me, but I don't know if I should be this shocked. But anyways, so Wicked was really, really good. I like the story. We all know how it actually goes for the general part, right? Given spoilers, if you haven't seen the movie, I would stop watching because I'm going to talk about it in the general story sense. I'm not going to try to give away too many details, but I'm going to talk about the movie. So we know, well, okay, this is how the movie starts, right? The movie starts and it's picking up where, I was going to say Alice in Wonderland, but that's not her name. Dorothy, has killed the Wicked Witch, and she's making her way back to the Emerald City, right? And so the story picks up there, and Glinda, the Good Witch, comes, and she's singing, and all of the munchkins and stuff are singing. They're happy. They're like, oh yeah, the witch is dead, and blah, blah, blah. And so then they go into like the backstory, right? And so again, I don't want to give away too much, but they start giving the backstory. And that's the majority of the movie, right? The backstory of how, starting to tell how the Wicked Witch became the Wicked Witch. Again, good. I like the music. I like how everything was done. Fantastic. A couple of things, right? Obviously, the witch. Let me do this right. Hold on, let me get her name right. She called her. What did she call her? Elfie. Elphaba. Elphaba is her name. Elphaba. So clearly, Elphaba is supposed to be being discriminated against because of her skin color, because she is green, right? She is green, and of course, it's a little like it's a little cringe because she's green, but she's black. Come on. She's black, right? We know this. I don't know how the Broadway play does it. Hey there. I don't know how the Broadway play does it. I don't know if the actresses who play her are black, but it's very, very clear. Cynthia Erivo is very black, bliggity black, right? And so clearly she's green, but there's so many things, so many ways that she's being treated and looked at that could be associated. The assumption can be made, oh, like she's representing a black woman. And there were definitely parts in there I was just like, I kind of cringe. I don't really like this. But as the story goes on, you get the hints more of that. One, she's like discriminated against by her own father and by everybody who's treated the way that she's treated, right? And then of course you have Glinda, who is played by, I always forget her name, and I just saw the movie. Give me a second. Played by Ariana Grande. And so and I think she did a great job playing Glinda, the Good Witch. And I like the way that they made her character. How she was really just a stuck-up white woman. A very entitled, I guess, narcissistic almost, selfish white woman, right? So you have Glinda, this white woman. Then you have Elphaba, this green woman, this black woman, and they are pretty much at odds with each other. And I'm good, man. They're pretty much at odds with each other, right? And the story goes on. Glinda's got her issues. She wants all this attention all the time. Everybody listens to her, supports her, gives her all the attention that she needs, right? While Elfie is just discarded. Nobody cares about her. Her own family doesn't even care about her. And she's just kind of cast to the side, right? Okay. So, the story goes on. And eventually, just like with, I'm gonna try to fast forward a little bit, because I'm gonna start making the comparison between Wicked and Gladiator 2. So fast forward along. Oh, hold on. All right, sorry, I'm not trying to, again, there's music playing, so I don't want music caught on the live stream to get it taken down. But anyways, so the story goes on. Man, I think I might want to see this again to do a deeper dive or discussion on this film. But so the story goes on. Eventually, Elfie, who has actual magical powers, she is trying to learn how to control. They end up going to this school, Shiz University, and while at the school, something happens, and Elphaba shows her powers, right? And then there is a teacher there, a professor who's there, who sees her powers and is like, oh, I want to make you pretty much like my pupil, because I want to help train you and use your powers or whatever, or help you develop your powers. So that happens. And then eventually, like, she's promised, it's like, oh yeah, you can go meet the great and powerful Oz, the great Wizard of Oz. We all know the great and powerful Oz, right? Because they're in Oz. So eventually she gets this ticket and this invitation. They end up going to Oz, her and Glinda, because now they're friends. Some stuff happens, so I don't want to give away too much, but they become friends. And they go to the Emerald City where Oz is. They meet the great and powerful Oz. Stuff goes down. She finds out that he's a fake. He's actually evil, and everybody honestly is just trying to use her and her powers to their advantage, right? And I think that's kind of key for her being a green woman, a black woman who is excellent in all the things that she does, all the power that she has. She's being used by the powers that be. Anyways, so that happens. There's like this big fight. It's a great action scene. Again, I want to see how this is done on the Broadway, because the way they did it in the movie was really cool. But so she pretty much is like, she ends up becoming an enemy of the state. So she's like, I don't want to help the great powerful Oz because he's trying to do evil things. Y'all are doing evil things. Y'all just want to use me. You actually don't have any power. You are a mediocre white man who is running this whole country. And I don't want anything to do with you, because you're honestly just causing harm to people and other minorities, animals that speak, Yeah. So there was this thing about animals that could speak, but eventually they were being discriminated against as well. Yeah. Anyways, so she doesn't want to be a part of that, and she wants to fight back against the system, right? So she ends up leaving. So she gets a broom, she flies away. The end song is really cool. Defying Gravity, that joint is dope. Again, I want to see this on Broadway. So if anybody knows, hook me up with some tickets. That'd be great. Going on, that's the gist of the movie. You see how she becomes a Wicked Witch because they call her that. They brand her as that. They end up making her an enemy towards Oz. That she is a wicked witch that is trying to cause harm and destroy things and make things bad for everybody in Oz, because she didn't want to support the plans that they had, which was to actually cause more harm to the discriminated individuals in Oz, right? So she flies off into the distance, and that ends the movie. And again, I'm doing like a quick overview, but keeping that in mind, we know she ends up becoming the enemy. She ends up becoming the villain, even though her intentions are good, even though she has all of the great stuff, even though she shouldn't be villainized against. But because she's green, which is something they say, that because of her green skin, it's just a manifestation of her evil. Her green skin. Again, green. You gotta get track with me here with it's green. It's obvious, right? Green. Her green skin is a manifestation of her evil, of her darkness, right? But they need her because she's powerful, because she has this ability to read, which is kind of a cool thing. In this story, there's this book that they have that has all the spells and stuff like that, and she's the only one that can read it. She's like reading it fluently and casting spells out of it and stuff. But she's intelligent. She's got powers. She is amazing and unstoppable, right? But she's green. And she's evil. But anyways, so she becomes the villain. They make her the villain, even though all she really wants to do is help people. One of her desires is to help stop the discrimination that's happening against the animals in Oz. But since she's not going along with the plans of the great and powerful Oz, of Oz Nation, she gets rejected and she becomes the enemy. And, we know how the story ends. The Wicked Witch eventually gets killed, right? It sucks. Okay, now, this is how I'm tying it in to Gladiator 2. Again, if you haven't seen Gladiator 2, spoilers. I didn't really have any interest in going to see Gladiator 2, but I went to the movies with my friend, and it was enjoyable for what it was. I haven't seen an action movie like that in a really long time, but it was good for what it was. The thing that I enjoyed about it most was Denzel, right? And so that's the only thing I knew. I knew Denzel was in this movie. So watching the movie, again, spoilers, Gladiator, is based in Roman times. And so the way it works is this is supposed to be like 16 years after the last Gladiator movie with Russell Crowe, right? And at this point, the new emperors are terrible. I'll say it like this. They are pretty much stupid, cynical, mediocre white men who are running, two of them, running Rome, right? And the thing is, as they're running Rome, things are getting worse. Even though they're continuing to conquer stuff and continue to do what Rome does, people are unhappy. People don't like them being the rulers. They don't like them being the emperors and stuff like that. And there's a plot to have insurrection, to dethrone them and kind of get Rome back to a status, right? And so the way this story works is, in the movie, Rome is coming to attack this country. The main character, I can't remember his name right now, but the main character, we'll call him Jack. That's not his name. His name is not Jack, but we'll just say that for now. So Jack is at this country, and so Rome comes, takes the country cap, kills Jack's wife, and Jack becomes a prisoner of war. And so Jack is now taken to Rome, eventually taken to Rome to fight in the Gladiator games. Before that, he is taken to Denzel, Washington. So Denzel is pretty much like a prize fighter trainer, right? So he gets gladiators, he trains them, and he brings them to the gladiator games in Rome so that they fight. And he does this to make money. You know, that's what he does. That's how he makes his money. That's how he makes his living. So you follow Jack, and you know he's going, and he has this vendetta against Rome because they destroyed the country that it was in, killed his wife, and Rome is just doing a lot of bad things. Rome has done a lot of bad things to a lot of other smaller countries, coming in, invading people, killing people, pillaging, doing all these things, right? So he has this vendetta. He wants to come, and he actually wants to kill a general, the general that was leading the charge against his country at the beginning of the movie. So he gets there, he's doing his gladiator thing, fighting different fights or whatever. And the interesting part is we find out about the insurrection that's trying to happen, like the coup that's trying to happen against the emperors. We find out how terrible the emperors are, and we find out more things about Jack. Again, spoiler alert, Jack is actually like a prince of Rome. He's the grandson of Marcus Aurelius. So he's actually rightfully supposed to be the heir of the throne of Rome, right? But the interesting part is Denzel Washington's character. Again, black man, right? Denzel Washington's character, who he just Denzel, right? So he like smoozes with like the elite in Rome. People respect him. He has a lot of money, and he, you know, kind of finagles his way around. And as the movie goes on, you don't really know his motivation behind what he does. And the interesting part to me is near the end of the movie, I'll say this first. I didn't really like the end of the movie. That's just my opinion. I didn't like the end of the movie. I didn't like the way it ended. But it kind of happened really fast. I don't know if that was intentional, but it felt sloppy to me. You find out that Denzel's character actually has a vendetta against Rome as well. Even though he's been making all this money and doing all this stuff, schmoozing around, whatever, he has this vendetta against Rome. And his goal, his desire and purpose is to destroy Rome from the inside. Again, spoiler alerts, sorry. His purpose is to destroy Rome from the inside, because in a short little history lesson they give you, you find out that Denzel was actually pretty much enslaved by Marcus Aurelius. So he was enslaved by Rome, had the opportunity, got out, and I guess was able to rise up in the ranks by, you know, facilitating these gladiator games. But he has this plan to get in, schmooze his way into like the Senate floor, rub elbows with the emperors, and take power to destroy Rome from the inside out. His plan. And his motivation is because Rome is evil. Rome is evil. Rome has done harmful stuff to me. Rome has done harmful stuff to different nations all over the world. Rome deserves to fall. That is his plan. So his intention is to do good. That's his intention, even though he is seen as the villain. His intention is to destroy the beast of Rome. I'm just saying, that's his intention, that's his plan, because Rome enslaved him, enslaved millions of countries, hundreds of people, right? That's his plan. I'm going to come in here, and because this is the end of Rome. That's his plan, right? And I just find it interesting that in both movies, the black characters are the villains. Even though, you know, it's not necessarily one for one, because the way that the story goes, it gives you, for Wicked, you get a little bit more details, right? You get more details, and you actually, you know, Elphaba's character is actually likable, right? She's not a con artist or anything. She's just a misunderstood woman, a misunderstood girl that is discriminated against because she has green skin, right? She's discriminated against, unloved, rejected by society, even though she is brilliant, even though she is smart, even though she is powerful, even though she is capable, she's rejected. And only time that she is appreciated is when Glenda, the good witch, the white woman, makes her popular. That's the only way that she starts to be like, you know, oh, we like you, Elfie, we like you, Elphaba, you're great, right? And even prior to that, her professor saw her power as something to, later we come to find out is as a tool to serve the states or the countries or Oz's purposes. So you have Elphaba, who is a black woman. Would you say that she's a green? She's a green black woman. And the thing about it, to me, in the land of Oz, you have animals that talk. You have all this magic and stuff like this, but people are unable to reason that there is a woman that's green. They are so disgusted by the fact that she has green skin. You got all this magic, all these crazy things happen. You have a great and powerful Oz, a great and powerful wizard in an Emerald City. You have all this crazy stuff, but just because she's green, y'all don't like her. Anyways, so you have Elphaba from Wicked, who's a black woman who is turned into and seen as the villain because she honestly actually wants to help people, but because she is not submitting herself, conforming to the way of the state, she is seen as the Wicked Witch. Then you got Denzel Washington's character, I can't remember what his name is either, from Gladiator 2, whose motivation and intent and plan is to destroy a country that's actually causing harm to the rest of the world. But both are eventually made out to be villains. I find it so interesting, that dynamic. And I mean, I think it's the way that it's painted in Wicked is so interesting. So interesting. And I know Themis did a review about this, and I need to go check that out. And I've seen a couple other YouTubers who have talked about who reviewed Wicked, and there was one video I saw talked about like green being the new black. So you have all these green characters in entertainment, and they represent black people. But the dynamic of Wicked was just so interesting. One, okay, I'm just rattling off the thoughts that I can think of. So Elphaba was the firstborn of this family, but she is completely, pretty much hated by her father. Her father blames her for everything, really, and she's pretty much like a mule in their family. He cherishes his not green-skinned daughter. She's light-skinned, even though she's light-skinned, and she's in a wheelchair. I'm trying to think of the appropriate terminology, but in the movie she's in a wheelchair. But he adores her. He adores his second daughter. He despises the first daughter, mainly because she's green. Not I guess spoilers, not because she was the result of adultery. That's what I find out is the case, right? She's the result of adultery, but because she's green, which in my mind it means, in my mind, her biological father was either, I know that she's in the movie, she's like drinking this, I guess it's like absinthe or something like that, some kind of liquor. Her mom is drinking this, and this mysterious man that she's in love with, or has this one night stand with, they're drinking and having this experience, and I guess we're assuming that that drink had something to do with it, right? But we don't know anything about the father. My guess is, because they hint at it a little bit, my guess is Oz is her father, which is interesting. But before that guess, we'll assume that's not true. That her dad is green, right? Her dad is a person of color. So yeah, when her father finds out, like when she's born, and he sees that she's green, he's just like, get her out of here, get rid of her. And then like the nanny, who is a talking bear, the nanny has to take care of Elphaba, yeah, takes care of Elphaba and helps her to grow up and stuff like that. But so Elphaba's character is just rejected. Nobody likes her. Again, until she is made popular by the white woman. Oz is ruling the country as a mediocre white man. He has no powers. He just pretty much plays in the face of everybody and gets the support of others, even though he has no powers. He's really a con artist. You have Elfie's friend, who's Glinda, the good witch, who is self-absorbed and really only cares about herself. Then there's a love interest who is a white man that, I don't know, that was interesting. I might stop there. Because I might continue to sit and think about some of this stuff. But I just wanted to say, I think this is very interesting that you have these two movies that both have kingdoms in them for the most part. You got Gladiator 2 with Rome, and then you have Wicked with Oz. And the enemies who are painted in the movie or painted in the stories are both black. One's a black woman, even though she's green, and one's a black man, with their motivations both to actually serve and do some good. I just find that interesting. Like they don't want things to remain the same. They don't want harm to continue to happen. They want to prevent more chaos from happening. But as they're doing that, they're villainized. And I mean, in Gladiator 2, Denzel's character is kind of more of a villain. He's killing a lot of people. A lot of people get killed. But again, to me, personally, I kind of wish Denzel won. But that's just me. But he's villainized, even though his motivation is righteous vengeance, I would say. Rightful revenge. Because of the consistent harm and villainous behavior that is caused by Rome. And then you have Elphaba being used to really, to some degree, she was going to be used to keep Oz running in a more effective manner by using her powers, using her abilities, the fact that she could read. I thought that was amazing. Like, she could actually read. I understand it's a spell book, but Elfie's character is pretty much an amazing, powerful, highly educated black woman that is just disrespected, disregarded, unkept, as in like nobody wants to care for her, unloved. Because there's a scene where even her sister, like, kind of is just like, I'm embarrassed. I don't want anything to do with her, and like she's just rejected by everybody, and it sucks. It sucks that's that experience. And I mean, I don't know if the Broadway play was supposed to be capturing that. I don't know if the writers had that intention of like, yeah, we're gonna model the Wicked Witch of the West after black women. I don't know if that was intentional or if is this Disney? Was this Disney? I don't know if this was Disney, but anyways, this movie, this film version of it, film adaptation of the play, having Elphaba being played by a black woman, I don't know if they had that intention, but it makes sense to me. I think it's very clear, and it just sucks that the black people are made the villains when they're actually trying to do good in these particular stories. So I don't know. I just found that interesting, and I wanted to like kind of get those thoughts out. Both movies are good. I would recommend Wicked over Gladiator 2. That's just me. I would recommend it. I think it's very well done. I don't know. I mean, Gladiator 2 is okay. It's your typical action movie. Denzel is being Denzel. They're both, I guess, worth watching. But yeah, I just think that's really, really interesting that both movies had black people painted as villains, even though they were trying to do good. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. If you've seen Wicked, what you think about the movie. Let me know your thoughts if you saw Gladiator. And do you find that interesting that black people, we keep getting painted as bad guys? I don't know. Hope you all have a beautiful night. Thank you all for those who showed up. I appreciate it. I will get out of the streets now because it's kind of cold. And yeah, I hope you all have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.